So let's talk about charging. Yo, and welcome back to Dan Escapes. Before I start this video about charging and owning an EV in London, I'd appreciate it so much if you subscribe to my channel and like this video. Buying an electric car can be very daunting, mainly due to its high price, but also how the hell do you charge the damn thing? So I can't really help with the first point, but hopefully in this video I can help with the second and making it easier for you to understand how to charge an electric car living in London where you don't have off-street parking or a way of charging from your home. Firstly, let's talk about the different charging ports that you get on a car. The first one that I'm going to talk about is AC, or sometimes known as Type 2. This is the main one on the majority of cars. It can charge up to 43 kilowatts, but that depends on a charger being able to deliver that power through AC connection and your car being able to take that connection. At the moment, my Renault Zoe can take a 22 kilowatt charge through AC, but again, you have to find a charger that can output at 22 kilowatts, plus that tends to be a lot more expensive than the normal 7 kilowatts, which is what you usually find. So the second type of charging point is a rapid charger, or as most people know, as DC charging. This can charge up to 350 kilowatts. Again, trying to find a charging station that can pump out 350 kilowatts, you know, it might be far and few between, but you know, the majority of the ones in London will be at 50 kilowatts. You might be able to find 101, but again, it depends what your car can accept. My Renault Zoe can take a 50 kilowatt charger. There is other types of charging. There's one called the Cademo, which is the fast charging, or some people might call it Type 1 style. This is predominantly on the Japanese cars, so the Nissan Leaf or the Mitsubishi FEV. But those have kind of been phased out and a lot more people using now just the AC DC fast charging. The other option is the Tesla charging infrastructure. They have a separate port for them. The other option is you can charge from a 3-pin wall socket, but you have to buy a specially adapted cable with a box converter that can then take the charge and pump it into the car. But you're usually looking at speeds of 3 kilowatt per hour. These cables don't come as standard with the car. It's probably worth buying because you know, if you're caught out in a friend's house in the countryside and you're like, oh, I can't find a charger anywhere or nothing's available, at least you know you can plug it into the wall and at least get 3 kilowatts per hour. So you're getting some charge. It will take a long time, but at least that will get you enough charge to maybe find a rapid charge station locally. So let me break that down for you, because I'm showing out all these numbers like 70 kilowatts, you know, 7 kilowatts per hour, etc. And a lot of you might not understand what that is. So for example, our Renault Zoe, say our battery capacity is 50 kilowatts. So that's kind of like your petrol tank. So you would have, I don't know, say 20 litre petrol tank, etc. So we've got a 50 kilowatt battery. And if you go to a supercharger that can charge at 50 kilowatts per hour, technically you should be able to charge a 50 kilowatt battery in an hour. But that's not the case. Charging speeds differ. You know, it says it can pump out 50 kilowatts, but you're probably only going to get 40, maybe even 30 kilowatts sometimes. Also depends on the temperature, and also the first 20% and last 20% of the charge tends to really slow down. So, you know, you're looking at maybe an hour and a half to fill up the battery instead of, you know, an hour. So this is your normal rapid charger. They'll come in all shapes and sizes, but they generally quite big. They come with the cables already, so you've got the Type 2 Komodo cable, you've got a normal AC, probably fast charging cable, and then you've got the DC rapid charging cable here. Sometimes you need an app, an RFID card, or you can pay contactless, which is probably the best for most people. So this is probably your standard charging point that you'll find in London. You'll get them in car parks, etc. So you can either plug in your own cable here, which the majority of them do, or you can use this one, which will allow you to charge at 22 kilowatts. So you've got the option between 7 kilowatts, 22 kilowatts. So these are the other type of charging points you'll get. This is a lamppost one, and you can just plug in your charger here and they charge at 5.5 kilowatts. I personally think they should be on every lamppost now in today's age, especially as we want to push electric vehicles, but that will hopefully come soon. So in case you're worried about your cable being stolen, don't worry, it locks into place on both ends. So when it comes to charging, you're going to need a smartphone. So the first app I suggest you get before you even buy an EV, and it's something I did as well, is download the Zap map. This is basically just using Google Maps, and it will show you where all the chargers are in your local area. So what's great about this app is when you're planning a road trip, you can put your actual vehicle into the app so it knows what kind of battery it's working with, if it's got rapid charge, etc. And then it will calculate the journey with a stop in between, which is perfect for those longer road trips. So the first one I'm going to talk to you about is ESB. I've used them a couple of times for their rapid charging. They charge 29p per kilowatt. Plus they will charge you extra if you go over 90 minutes, which you never really do because it's a rapid charging station. So for my Renault Zoe, to fill it up from 0 to 100% would cost me about £15. Great saving there, because my Fiat 500 would cost me about £35 and pretty much getting similar range anyway. The only other thing I would say that's a bit buggy with the app is you have to preload it. I'm not really a big fan of that. I'd rather just pay for what I charged. The second one I've used is Polar. I haven't used their rapid charging stations, but they charge between 25p to 30p, so just depending on the area, etc. I have used their charging in a car park, so I got a free charge with them via 7 kilowatt charger. They do it in some other car parks as well. Sometimes you just have to pay for the parking, so it's pretty good that you're just paying for parking and getting a free charge. Again, you have to preload it like the ESB app. Moving on, we're on to PodPoint. This is probably one of my favorites, merely because you get a free charge at my local Sainsbury's, so I can go there for 2 hours and you'll get a 7 kilowatt charger, and I can pretty much fill up 20% of my battery within a 2-hour shopping period. You do have a option to do fast charging, and I think theirs is the cheapest in terms of fast chargers. It's 23p per kilowatt. That will give me about £12 for a full charge on my car. Next app I'm going to talk about, I haven't used myself, but they have a lot of charging stations around the London area, and that is Source London. They're pretty much like a parking meter for charging. They charge by the minute instead of by the kilowatt. If it's just pay as you go, they have 7.4 kilowatt charging at 7p a minute, and they have a 22 kilowatt charger at 14.3p per minute. And you're capped at a 4-hour time limit. So for 4 hours on the 7.4 kilowatt charger at 7p, you're looking about £16.80, which it's quite a lot to park for 4 hours. So they also have other options on their page. You can do the Flexi, where you pay a £10 one-off fee, and that will be 5.9p per minute and 11.9p per minute for the 22 kilowatts. Or you can pay the full subscription, which is £4 a month, and that will give you 3p charging and 9.5p on the 22 kilowatt hour. So I don't know, if you're using a lot, then maybe it's worth going for the subscription ones, but for me, I haven't had to use them yet, so there's no point in me signing up. It's perfect probably if you're driving into London a lot. You know, with electric cars you can get into congestion charge, but before you do that, please register with the congestion charge and TfL your vehicle. You have to show proof that it's an electric car and pay a £10 registration fee every year. That will then allow you to drive in the congestion zone for free. Don't just get an electric car and drive into the congestion zone, because you will get fined. And the last app I'm going to show you is Ubertricity. This is my favorite one. It's built into the lamppost like I showed you. They only pump out 5.5 kilowatts per hour. Again, they charge by the kilowatt. It's a bit expensive, you know, 23p, but it's so convenient for me because there's a couple right near my place. You don't have to preload an app. I do wish you could store a card on the app or use Apple Pay. At the moment, you have to scan a QR code on the thing and it will take you to a website. It doesn't use the app, which is a bit bizarre. I wish they'd sort that out. What I'd like to note now is Currently, I have done over 760 miles on the Renault Zoe, and do you know how much I paid in charging? It's £35. So when coming to charging in London, don't think I need to go to a rapid charger because you're used to filling up a petrol car really quickly. I made that mistake at the beginning and got really anxious. I was stressing out trying to find a point. My favorite one over the time having this electric car is either these free car park ones like I am right now, or at the lamppost by my house, because you can just leave it there for hours and just be at home while it charges and you're comfortable. So you got the app on your phone, so it will tell you when you're finished. So yeah, that's it for today's episode. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And if you have any questions at all about EVs and owning one, let me know in the comments below. But I hope you're all staying safe, staying positive, having fun, and I shall see you in the next one.